Good afternoon, everybody. Greg with Rack and Rod Chronicles here again. And you know, aside from the backcountry gear list, which you're going to see some of these products that we're doing these separate videos on included into that backcountry gear list, we've been sticking kind of with the theme of fly fishing the last couple days. Spring coming up. I'm sure we'll have a bunch of turkey stuff to talk about too, but wanted to kind of get these out there. You know, when the timing's right, guys are sitting at home. You're tying flies, getting ready to get out on the water. So if you've noticed over the last couple of videos, I've been wearing a Monic Fly Lines hat. And Monic is a company that has been around for quite a while. They really kind of started designing lines back in the late 80s and early 90s. But in 1994 is when they kind of became a little bit more well known, because they started designing lines with no PVC. So they have, you know, gone along with technology. It's 2021, and these guys, every single piece of any of their lines is chemical-free, recyclable, and contains no PVC. So obviously, you want to look at that, because as a fisherman, you realize that water conservation, fish conservation, all that stuff becomes important. So they're based out of Boulder, Colorado. They're 100% American made. They have all kinds of different cores, all different kinds of line. So I wanted to walk through a few of them, and we'll go more in depth again as the season gets closer. But this is kind of just the initial walkthrough. So I have a few of them lined up here behind me. So you've got the Monic 101, the Icicle, Precision Dry, Skyline Plus, and one that I've already actually zipped up here on my Galvin Torque is their Henley Phantom Tip. So if you can see, the first 30 feet section of this line is clear. So it enables you to throw a little bit shorter leader, not have to deal with wind and whatnot. And the biggest thing is each of their lines, depending on core, is going to kind of designate temperature as well as the external coating of the line. So, for instance, the Icicle, which is right here, that line is basically meant from 100 degrees down to below freezing. So if I wanted to go fish right now, I'd be spooling that up. Right now it's about 4 degrees, 5 degrees outside. The wind's blowing at like 15 miles an hour. It's pretty cold. So this one, however, is meant for 45 degrees and above. This is one of their newer lines for this year. And this has their patented proprietary MoniCORE line, or MoniCORE core of the line, which helps reduce coil in the line. Obviously, when your line is spooled up on a reel constantly, it's going to have, end up with some bends in it, and it'll straighten out when you start fishing. But what's really nice is certain lines, they kind of are either above or below a half step or so in grain weight to the standard AFTA grains of a certain weighted line. So, a lot of people just say, here's a heavy line and it'll cast fine. These guys let you kind of pick your poison depending on your rod. So if you have a faster action rod, you're going to want a line that's maybe 1 or 2 sizes up in a Monic, so that it loads the rod better. Depending again on the style of line you pick, you may say I can step down a weight and still load my rod correctly. But the clear fly line to me is huge. Obviously, as a Czech or Euro nympher for quite a few years, you're running this gigantic long leader. You're not really using the fly line portion of the line. And again, depending on the water you're fishing. But so this one here, you've got a 30-foot belly in clear, or 30-foot head in clear, and it does have the welded loop on the front end. once you get through the clear, let me spool it off here for you. So you can see about right here, it starts, there's your clear, and then it starts to run to a green. So once you continue to go, it goes into a nice green color that you'll be able to pick up on the water or in the air as you're casting. And what basically the whole design of this was again to throw a shorter leader. You're not going to spook fish because they're not going to see this big bright, you know, green, yellow, blue, whatever color the line may be, floating across the top of their head on the water. So again, nice long section of clear, gives you an idea from where the green and the clear meet where your fly is, and they're priced super good compared to some of the lines that are out there over $100. This particular one is $69.95, and they do from, I believe it's 3 weight to 12 weight, so it is fresh and salt water. But really nice welded loop on both ends, so it was super easy to get attached to my backing. But then you go to something like their Precision Dry. Okay, blue line, this is going to be, you know, small stream, very good presentation of a dry fly. Again, it's a 90-foot line, eco-friendly. You just can't beat it, and the fact that they're, you know, made in the USA is awesome. So as we're spooling lines up, getting closer to the season, I'll walk you through each one. But this particular one was the Henley Phantom Tip. They do an all clear as well, just a Henley Clear. But I can't wait to get on the water with these lines. It's so funny feeling the difference between the lines that, you know, we're all used to with the PVC coating. They're thick. You know, you can feel, you know, how thick they are. When they hit the water, you can tell how thick they are. I mean, spooling this one up, you know, as I got towards the tip, it felt a little more normal. But after, you know, going through and getting their whole background on the company and how this all started, it's, you know, totally different than any line that's out there. And what I really like is like this particular one and the Precision Dry, the Skyline, and there was another here. Maybe it was that one. They almost don't feel like fly line, and just looking at it, it doesn't look like fly line. So I'm super excited to get these spooled up, and as I've said over the last couple of videos, I kind of faded off the fly fishing for a little bit over the last couple of years, and it's you know, that's how I kind of started. My uncle got me started in the outdoors with a fly rod, so I'm excited to really put a lot of focus on fly fishing this year, both here on the YouTube channel and on the show. So stay tuned for more on Monic fly lines. You can check them out on the web. You can check them out on Facebook and Instagram as well. But we'll get this video up here shortly. So we'll talk to you guys soon.